It's happening, fellow fantasy GMs. I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dove. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Well, JJ Wang, what they don't know won't hurt them, but this is our second attempt at recording this. As I learned twice so far in doing this podcast, if you don't push record, it doesn't record, right?
Yeah, and don't rely on me to make sure said button is recorded, because that's not going to happen.
So we should be pros at it throughout by the time this one is done, but we are the Fantasy Couriers.
It worked out good anyway, because we was having troubles the whole show. So
it was a fiasco. So, and what's even better that you only know if you're watching YouTube is that my new shirt came in today. Tight end U T-shirt 2022. Favorite position is the tight end. I found these online and I was super excited. Roll your eyes over there, JJ Wang, with your little cruddy team in our tight end dynasty. My four stud tight ends. When you love the tight end, you love the tight end.
Cool. You got 4 stud tight end and you still haven't won a championship yet. How long is it going to take?
How are your playoffs looking, buddy? Okay, so how your playoffs?
Hey, I started from the bottom, and you've been at the top. What 3 years now, and you're still struggling to get there?
Yeah, I was at the bottom for a couple years. I started out terrible. Anyway,
I think some of those tight ends for actually good players. It might help you out.
Maybe. But we'll see. We're the Fantasy Couriers. Hit us up on Twitter, email, the Facebook page. The Fantasy Couriers is pretty active. Lots of stuff on there. I've been posting some videos if you want to see what a startup dynasty draft looks like. I'm making short little snippet videos talking about the dynasty draft I'm currently in. And what I did learn from that is when you think you're going to zag, you end up zigging and doing whatever opposite it is, because my draft went nothing like the way I was planning it to go. But I had a plan. And then I was willing to change, I think, is key to drafting. Wouldn't you think?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, you can have your plan going in, but how often does the draft follow your plan? Not very often. The only time it really kind of follows your plan is like the first pick, if you got the first overall pick. Yeah, then you can follow your plan. After that, even the second pick, you can be thinking, all right, this guy's definitely going to be there. And the guy in front of you ends up taking that guy, and you're like, well, 2 picks in, my plan's already screwed.
Yeah, I thought that at 4, and it got better for me, and then I got confused on the way through. But I like what I'm ending up with. But I'll go over that later. That's a video. That's for another video that I'm putting together that will show up. But this week or last week was a national holiday. It was the 4th of July, and one of our personal heroes is Joey Chestnut. He is the man. He didn't break the record this year, but he did eat 63 dogs and buns.
He did break the record. Most chokeholds put on people during the hot dog eating contest. I think Joey Chestnut should be beyond just our favorite guy. He should be an American hero at this point. Oh. The guy's an American legend. I mean, he eats hot dogs, but every 4th of July, what have you been doing for the last 15 years? You've been watching Joey Chestnut. And the one year I miss it, because like we was talking yesterday, we watch it every year, but the one year I happen to miss it, he ends up choking out some protester. God. And then he continued right back eating his hot dogs. Kudos to you, Joey Chestnut.
Yep, love me some Joey Chestnut, and I think we both did the same thing where we almost forgot it for some weird reason as much as we love it, and we managed to get, I think you watched it a little bit later, I was reminded by my mother-in-law, I was like, oh crud, I gotta go do this, but he did do it injured too. Not only was he taking out dudes, but he was injured as well. He had his foot in a cast, and they said he wasn't training as much as usual. But still,
yeah, because we all know that foot really interferes with your stomach. It's training's really hard.
I've watched some stuff. He like legitimately works out.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's crazy. There's a video I watched with my kids of him eating this this pizza. I forget how. I want 17 pounds in my head, but that could be totally wrong. But it's ginormous. It looked terrible. Like there were like 6 guys against him. He beat them, and then you saw like he had a baby belly, and I forget what the weight. It's a YouTuber that my kid likes called Mr. Beast. But Joey Chestnut, what is he? The 3rd linebacker taking an IDP?
Yeah, I guess if you're playing IDP, you probably want to have some fun and take Joey Chestnut. Like I think right behind Aaron Donald, probably, right?
Yeah. The big really only news of this quiet time of the year is Baker was traded. The Browns said, hey, we'll pay a bunch of his salary just to get rid of him. He's going into Carolina to compete with the stellar Sam Darnold, who is going to make they're going to pay Sam Darnold over 3 times as much to be on this team this year. I put it up on the Facebook page, and some guys were like, if Baker beats out Sam Darnold, and I was like, I can't. They didn't sign Baker to let Sam Darnold take him over, did they?
Yeah, I can't imagine a world where Sam Darnold's beating out Baker. If that's the case, Baker might as well consider his career over. I mean, if they trade for him and he can't beat out Sam Darnold, we all seen what Sam Darnold did last year. So I'm over.
That being said, we're assuming as the fantasy couriers that Baker Mayfield is the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. What effect do you think that has on DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey?
I think DJ Moore is the same player he's always been. I think Christian McCaffrey's the same player he's always been. I mean, 20, 25 points a game for McCaffrey, and then probably DJ Moore is going to finish the season with 1,100 yards and 5-6 touchdowns.
5 or 6, that's a little high for DJ Moore.
Yeah, that is a little high. I'm trying to give him a little bit of credit because I feel like there's got to be a season where he has an outlier touchdown season. I feel like at some point because he gets like 1,000 yards every year. Mm-hmm. Baker's probably the best quarterback he's played with. So I mean, it's possible, but Baker never really did much for the receivers in Cleveland. They were just okay, and they were more of a running team, just like they're probably going to be in here if McCaffrey stays healthy.
Yeah, I got scared a little bit. One guy was like, if you look at Baker, he's never really checked down to anybody, which worries me a little bit.
Yeah, but he's never had Christian McCaffrey. The whole offense.
Have Nick Chubb. He's pretty good.
Well, I agree. But the whole offense runs through Christian McCaffrey. Like the passing game and the running game all runs through Christian McCaffrey. That doesn't happen on very many teams.
Yeah.
Like the coach is telling him, look, don't throw the ball deep if McCaffrey is open underneath. Let's just give it to McCaffrey. We'll be fine. That's awesome.
Yeah. I can't argue that. I'm hoping I like it for Baker. It fell right at the time I was doing a best ball draft in Underdog for just a random one. And I needed another quarterback because they were kind of trifling. So I was like, oh, sweet. Baker got traded. Ding dong. Right. It was my turn. I was like, I can't let that go. I mean, he's not going to be a QB1, but he could be a low-end QB2, and in best ball, a couple weeks there, a couple weeks here, a couple weeks there, with 4 quarterbacks. That's all I needed.
Yeah, he'll have some good games. He's not terrible.
So, that being said, today we're just going to have a little bit of fun. It's draft time! JJ Wang challenged me to create some drops. I got to learn how to put some music behind them. We've been doing it like Neanderthals, where I push play on a Windows Media Player to get stuff, and I was like, wait, I was a DJ for a couple years. I have some DJ sound stuff, so I can pop some stuff in there. And it's draft time! If you're watching the YouTube video, my mouth is not moving. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a startup Superflex draft, meaning that you can have a quarterback, then you could have a quarterback Superflex position, which could be quarterback, running back, wide receiver, or tight end. And we're going to do it as a startup dynasty. We'll do a regular redraft in season closer to the season, but since this is about it's kind of a dead month. Some people are doing rookie drafts. I got a league that wants to wait, so we're starting one. We're probably done till this podcast releases, but it's a little different in every league. But right now, if you're doing anything, it might be a startup just to get going. So that's what we're going to draft. If you are watching us on YouTube, you'll see the draft board up on the screen. If you're listening, we'll try to go through it as best we can. Sometimes we get a little excited and miss a few players. I will be drafting from the 4 spot. JJ Wang will be drafting from the 9 spot. I randomly pulled that by asking Alexa a number between 1 and 12, and that's what we ended up.
I would have done it.
Picked a number?
I would have put the numbers in, wrote them on a piece of paper, and put them in a hat, pulled them out of it.
Yeah. I don't. Grandpa here. Okay, I'm going to start the draft, and fingers crossed that this works unlike it did the other day. There we go. Josh Allen went first. Patrick Mahomes went second. Jonathan Taylor went third. I am up with the 4th pick. It's a super flex draft, so at this high up, it's hard to not take a quarterback, and one of the top 3 quarterbacks is sitting there looking me right in the face, so I will take Justin Herbert.
Makes sense. Jamar Chase went, Burrow, Kyler Murray. Ooh, Kyle Pitts went. Kind of in the same position I was yesterday, right? All the top 5 quarterbacks are gone. Justin Jefferson's still on there. I'm gonna go with Justin Jefferson. Go start with the young wide receiver, produces every year. That's my pick.
I love it. Followed by Najee Harris, Javonte Williams in the first round, Dak, Lamar Jackson, Cooper Kupp, Austin Eckler, and it's back to you.
So I got 2. I want Justin Jefferson. Quarterbacks are kind of struggling now with Russ Wilson being the best one available. Yesterday I took when we tried to do it not recorded, I took DeAndre Swift. I'm going to switch it up a little bit here. My guy is still on there. So I'm going to go wide receiver heavy here at the start, and I'm going to pick CeeDee Lamb. I think he's in for a huge season. So we had DeAndre Swift, Chris McCaffrey, and Breece Hall, and Mark Andrews go right before you.
Wow, that is early for Breece Hall.
That's real early.
Early for Breece Hall. So I am looking here. I'm going to stay where I was. I like Justin Herbert as a good pocket passer there. And then I'm going to go with a little young guy with an upside. I heard a good comp today on a podcast I was listening to saying Trey Lance, his floor could be similar to that of Jalen Hurts last year, where he's going to get the running yards. And that being said, I take Trey Lance and then I was followed by Deshaun Watson, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Adams, Russ Wilson, and Deebo Samuel. Back to me with 3.4. At this point, I like to start building with receivers. There's some running backs here, but no one super duper young. I like to build and grow versus some people. You should build to win, but there's a varying degree of what winning now would be versus winning later. So I'm looking at Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddle, Higgins, Hill, Metcalf, around that area. And since I am going for a little bit more youth, I could go with Diggs, but I think he's got a couple more years. I'm going to take my boy Jalen Waddle, who might have a down year this year, but he's going to step it back up once Tyreek starts to slow down, or it could be a terrible signing. Who knows? So I'm going to take Waddle there.
Followed up by... so we had Mixon go, we had Cook, Stafford, and then Stephon Diggs went. So that kind of worked out good for me. I was looking at the board. So I got Jefferson and Lamb. I probably should take a quarterback here, and Trevor Lawrence is still on the board. I think Jacksonville is going to be better. Trevor Lawrence for the next 10 years to go along with CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson. I feel like that's a quality start to your football franchise. So I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence there.
Nice, followed by Kelsey, DK Metcalf, Derrick Henry. On the turn comes T. Higgins, Tyreek Hill, Nick Chubb, and it's back to you.
All right, so I just took Trevor Lawrence. Justin Fields is there. Really want to take him, but looking a little farther past him, I see Travis Etienne. He was there. I took him yesterday to go with Trevor Lawrence. I think he's a running back and a receiver all at the same time, kind of like Christian McCaffrey, not like Christian McCaffrey, but in that same mold, Austin Eckler type. So I think we'll go Travis Etienne here and make sure I got all my guys under 22 by the time we're done.
And you got a stack, followed by Saquon, Akers, Kamara, Gibson, and it's back to me. Kamara and Gibson.
Six running backs in a row right there.
Wow. So at this point, I'm still looking receiver. I look at running backs. I could take JK. He falls into a younger running back that I would take coming off injury, but I'm looking here at receiver, and one of my favorite receivers is still on the board, Mr. Michael Pittman. So I love with Matt Ryan this year. He was good last year with wins. Just add another Matt Ryan who's going to probably throw for 4,030. I said 27 on a message board the other day. A guy said 30. I said I was going to type that, but I didn't want to look too cocky. So
yeah, I think 30 might be a little high. But I mean, who knows?
He can get it. So I take Michael Pittman.
I mean, he can get it. I just think it's a little high at this point for that team.
And then there's J.K. Dobbins, London, Kittle turned to Wilson, Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore, and it's back to me in the 5th round. I have 2 quarterbacks, 2 receivers, and this is really a pivot point to think about. Do I go with a running back who's sort of sitting there, or do I grab another receiver? And you know me, I'm going with another receiver. And right in front of me is one of my. I got a couple options here. Like honestly, I'm looking at Terry McLaurin or Hollywood Brown or Rashad Bateman are sort of the realms that I'm looking at right now. And I love Hollywood where he is this year. And a lot of times in these drafts, you got to figure I'm not drafting for a good while, and that's the guy I want. And he might not come back to me, so I'm going to take Hollywood Brown right there.
It's a good pick.
With putting him in Arizona, I like the match. So Aaron Rodgers went next, then Fields went followed by Kenneth Walker, Terry McLaurin. There we go, and now it's up to you.
I was really hoping Aaron Rodgers would fall there. I needed some veteran leadership on my team. So I got Trevor Lawrence, ET on my last two picks. Do I want to go running back or stick with quarterback? I think we're going to stick with quarterback here, and the best available is Derek Carr. I think he's going to have a big year. I think the Raiders are stacked. Devontae Adams is going to help out big time. So Derek Carr is going to be my guy here. I'm going to solidify my quarterback room.
And then after that was Montgomery, Tua, Hawkinson, and then it turns to Aaron Jones, Mac Jones, Jerry Jeudy, and your pick.
Yep, still only running with one running back. Not a lot of running backs on the board that I like a whole lot. So I'm just going to hold off on that. Probably go back to wide receiver. Got Mike Evans or Keenan Allen. Probably going to go with one of those. I think I'm going to stick with the better offense. Number one receiver is pretty consistent the last, 10 years, I feel like. And Keenan Allen, my first old guy on the team. There we go.
And it was followed by Burks, Waller, Evans, Josh Jacobs, and now it's my turn. And I've got 3 receivers, 2 quarterbacks. So the question is, do I put in some running back that I'm kind of like, man, we're looking at Fournette and Zeke and Connor. Elijah Mitchell wouldn't be a terrible grab, but he's probably going to get hurt. Could stretch it out for James Cook a little bit there. Or do I do I jump to tight end? Dalton Schultz is sitting there. He's a pretty stout tight end right now. Or do I just grab another receiver knowing that there are flex positions that can be filled? You know me. Gonna be a receiver. And my next favorite receiver on here is Rashad Bateman. So I took Bateman.
I like Bateman.
Which was
not exactly sure what his ceiling could be, but it's a good choice. It's fair.
You got to throw to someone.
Yeah, you're right.
Followed by Fournette, Jameson Williams, Elijah Mitchell, then Olave, Godwin, Devonta Smith, who Godwin's fallen far considering he's gonna play again, but everybody sort of seems to be scared in startups. He fell really far in the one I was doing. So now it's back to me. And there's one guy on the board I can never get that is my favorite. I think he's going to be a wide receiver 1, and I'm getting him as well, a wide receiver 5, and I'm going to reach for him. But that is Cortland Sutton, our argumentative player that we got.
You really like that guy, don't you?
I love Cortland
Sutton. So we had James Conner, A.J. Dillon, Darnell Mooney, Zach Wilson. So Zach Wilson is that guy's first quarterback. Oh, that guy. All right, so here I only got one running back. There's another running back on the board, a rookie. I think he's going to be a lot of pass catching for James Cook out of Buffalo. Like I said, the offense is good. He's going to get opportunity. They like to pass a lot. So I'm going to go with Josh Allen's weapon, go with James Cook.
Thought he might sneak around. Followed by Zeke, Dalton Schultz, Sky Moore, Amari Cooper, Mike Williams, Kirk Cousins. Let me just put it noted here. Sky Moore was drafted before Mike Williams and Amari Cooper.
That's crazy.
Insane. But that's part of these draft use. They use average draft position and we're in rookie season. So
I'm surprised Mike Williams lasted this long. Wow.
I was thinking of him. He was my other choice.
All right, so still on the 3 wide receivers. Wide receivers are most likely king at this point. There's just so much more of them. I was just talking about Zach Wilson. I'm going to go with his number one weapon, and that's Elijah Moore. Had a nice stretch through part of the season last year. Got injured. Doing pretty well. I'm gonna take Elijah Mitchell. Not Elijah Mitchell, but that guy, Elijah Moore.
Followed by Brady, Juju, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kenny Pickett, and now it's back to me. And now I think it's that point where I should take a running back, because if not, I'll have 0. And I'm looking at CEH, Damian Harris, Miles Sanders, Tony Pollard, Kareem Hunt, Pierce, Rashad White, Isaiah Spiller, Carter all set in there, and only one of these guys is a number one running back, and you hate him. I have a soft spot for him, and I just drafted him, but I think he's going to have a better year playing for a contract, and that is Miles Sanders. He can't get less than 0 touchdowns.
Oh, he can.
-1.
He'll score touchdowns for the other team.
Goddard, Freiermuth, Christian Watson turns to Ayuk, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Gabe Davis, and it's back to me. I can look at running back again. That'd be like Harris or Pollard or Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's tempting, a little long in the tooth from my team. If I'm looking here, it's probably Pollard, but I'm wearing a tight end university shirt. I don't know how I cannot take a tight end who I believe could easily, possibly be the 3, if not second, look on his team, and anything to get a part of that Buffalo offense. I'll take Dawson Knox right there. Followed by Allen Robinson, Hunter Renfrow, D-Hop, Brandon Cooks, and it's your turn.
All right, so I only got 2 running backs. I'm looking at running backs here. The top 2 were Damian Harris and Tony Pollard. You heard a lot about Tony Pollard possibly playing in the slot a lot more. I feel like you got to get this guy on the field more. Whenever he's in, he's productive. Zeke is supposed to be healthy, looking a lot better, but we heard the same thing last year. Zeke could probably be Zeke, 12 to 15 or 10 to 15 range, but I think we've still got to mix Tony Pollard in here. And for the 9th round, nice flex play. I think there's upside, especially if Zeke doesn't, perform like he's supposed to. Pollard will fit right in.
Mike Thomas, Pickens, your boy, Harris, Pierce, Hunt, right on running backs, and then Claypool, and back to you.
All right, so my guy Davis Mills is right here. He probably won't make it around to me the next time, but I'm going to skip him and hope it does because I'm going to pick him up next. I'm going to go running back again. I think a guy that's got opportunity, especially touchdown in the high-powered Los Angeles Chargers offense. That's Isaiah Spiller, the rookie, like 6'1", 220 pounds. He's going to be the ground and pound guy. I think they finally found their guy for replace Eckler.
Okay. And then followed by Rashad White, Jahan Dotson, Mike Gesicki, Kadarius Toney, a guy who I think is going to have a decent year. And it's back to me. I still only have 1 running back. So it makes sense for me to take a running back. I'm looking at Carter, Singletary, Chase Edmonds, Ramondre Stevenson are the top 4. There's 2 that I like there. One that I'm just going to go homer. I'll take Chase Edmonds. They paid him. He's not going to be a 3-down running back, but he's going to get the catches in Miami. So I'll take Chase Edmonds there. Never been usually.
How many catches are there going to be in Miami?
Did I say catches? I meant rushes. He's going to get enough catches to be a decent running back, but he's not going to get a lot of rushes. Sorry, rather.
There's a lot of catches being thrown around in Miami all of a sudden.
Jameis Winston, Michael Carter, Singletary was the other guy I was thinking of. Then it looped around to Kirk, Ertz, Gallup, and a lesson about doing leagues with people is know who you're against. Know who people like. And if you want to just mess with people, take guys they like so that you can have Davis Mills on your team.
You're a lucky man. That's a great steal in the 11th
I love
round.
Davis Mills too. I might try to snake him in other league, but I did it just for fun. But it more or less, I probably would have taken. I told you I'm high on golf this year for some stupid reason. I would have waited for him, but know guys your guy, and know that maybe later on you like him enough that you might send me players from. Don't ever draft to draft a guy you want, but don't draft for trading. But just know people you're against. Followed by Komet, Thielen, Algier, Noah Fant, and it's up to you.
All right, so now it's getting a little tough. I wanted Davis Mills. I'm gonna still pivot. I'm still gonna go tight end here. Not tight end, but quarterback. I'm gonna go with the rookie. I think he's gonna start rather soon, and that's Desmond Ridder out of Atlanta. I don't think Mariota is going to be able to play for that much into the season.
Well, that would be a nice discussion. I'm not a Ridder fan at all. Followed by Tannehill, Cordell Patterson, Tyler Lockett, Ramondre Stevenson, David Bell, Trey McBride. Holy cow in the 12th round. And it's back to you.
So how many? You say this was 15 rounds, right?
We're only going 14 rounds. We only did 4 bench spots. So
all right, that works. Just want to make sure I got my players right. All right, so I took quarterback. I think I got plenty of running backs to go. I need to fill out my wide receiver room. And looking at that, if you can't get Davis Mills, get somebody that he's going to be thrown to. It might not happen immediately in the season. You know what? I'm going to switch that. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers, #1 target.
Oh my gosh, I missed him.
Because he did mention him when he brought his name up. He mentioned him first when he was bringing all of his wide receivers up. So that means he's going to be his first target. That's going to be Allen Lazar. I think Allen Lazar is in for I don't want to say a monster season, but I think a big season.
And because I wasn't paying attention, Rashad Penny was still on the board. That's who I would totally take off my last pick if I wasn't doing the whole point of knowing people. Rashad Penny, Ronald Jones, taken before James Robinson, Alexander Madison, and now it's back to me. I still only have 2 running backs. I'm good on the quarterback room. My receivers are pretty stout. There's some decent receiving guys there. My tight ends, there's a couple tight ends I would love to grab. Like Albert O might be a decent guy to get here if you're looking later. Little Jahani Woods. I got to get a running back that's looking almost warm body, but it is startup and there are rookies. And if I'm looking for a future, I love Zamir White. They didn't take the 5th year optional on Jacobs. Zamir White will be getting some tread this year, and next year he's the man.
I agree. I think it's more of a Nick Chubb type running back. He's not going to get a lot of catches, but I think you need players like that that's going to provide the touchdowns. And
they said that about Taylor too, but he started catching some balls. So
yeah, I didn't watch Zamir White a whole lot in college. The reason he wasn't catching balls in college is because they had James Cook. They were switching them in and out. But Georgia running backs are always good, so she could wrong.
Yeah, followed by Michi Gage, Albert O, Melvin Gordon, Tara Davis Price, and Njoku, and then it's back to me here. I can pretty much do whatever I want. I got a couple of running backs. A running back that I like for next year that I might be trading away in a moment here, but I think Khalil Herbert. If I can get him on rosters, he looked really good when Montgomery was out, and I think he's got a future because Montgomery's done this year. They're going to kick him out the door and let Herbert start next year. Okay, Ridley, Pierce, Irv Smith, Rondell Moore, and it's up to you.
All right, so I'm with my last 2 picks. I'm going to go tight end. So I'm going to take the guy again. If you can't have your favorite player in Davis Mills, take the guy that's on his team. I think you'd be even happier. This is all upside. I think he played really well when he was in. He started scoring touchdowns. I think he could possibly jump up in that top 10 tight end. Like I said, doesn't take a lot, but he's an athlete. He can make plays, and that's Brevin Jordan from the Houston.
From tight end U. From the U.
Yep.
Robert Woods, Hunter Henry, Tolbert in Dallas, Chuba, Brian Robinson, Wandale Robinson, and it's back to you for your pick here. And this is the end of our draft. We'll talk about the rest in a moment.
All right, so I'm going to go tight end again. Not a whole lot of options. We got Greg Dulcich, the rookie out of Denver. People seem to like him. Tyler Higbee, Jelani Woods. I'm going to take a flyer here. I'm going to go Evan Ingram. I'm not a huge fan. I know that phase I probably made it to, but I'm Trevor Lawrence. I'm just hoping and need people to throw to. Maybe Evan Ingram can make a spot here and there. So I'm going to go Evan Ingram here just for a warm body tight end.
Okay, followed by Jacoby Myers, DJ Chark, Kenneth Gainwell, Tyler Boyd. And now it's back to me for my last for the podcast draft. And there's holy camole, Matt Ryan is still on the board. Malik Willis is on the board. Like, I want some Malik Willis, I'll be honest. If I can get him somewhere, just throw on a team to stash. There's some decent players, decent tight ends. Jelani Woods will be interesting. I'm going to take Malik Willis just because I want to, and I can't get him anywhere else. And I like his future and his legs.
He's got some nice legs.
And he's a and he's a VA boy. So then Darrell Henderson, Naheem Hines, and Haskins in Tennessee was the last pick. Now, if you're doing a real rookie startup draft, you're going to be drafting for another 10 rounds, and it's going to get much messier than it is now. I'm doing one right now, and it's 21 rounds, and then we're going to have 4 rounds of rookies counting in as they're not part of my startup, actually. So the startup draft will be longer than 14 rounds, but we don't want the podcast to be 2 hours long. We already talk a lot, and you get to hear a lot from us. So just a quick rundown of each of our teams and a little highlight of what we had. My quarterbacks are Herbert, Lance, Mills, and Willis. I like that. I don't even mind having a 4th quarterback in a Superflex league. It gives me insurance and or trade value later, especially because I got him so late. And the upside of Willis sort of covers the potential of Mills being replaced if the Texans stink, which worries me with our love for Davis Mills rather. My running backs are Miles Sanders, Chase Edmonds, Zamir White, and Khalil Herbert. I've got some work to do there because I'm trifling in running back. But it is a wide receiver league, and I love having Waddle, Pittman, Hollywood Bound, Bateman. Sutton is my fifth receiver. Like, what can you do with that receiver room? It's pretty stud. And Dawson Knox, who underachieves. He's like, to me, he seems like the new TJ Hawkinson. I hope not, but that's what I feel like when I think of Dawson Knox. I like both those guys, but it's just like, whoa, what are they going to do for us?
Yeah, I think just Dawson Knox is just that guy that they're inside, the 15-yard line, and he gets touchdowns here and there. I mean, that's one of. I think the only time he's going to be important is if he scores a touchdown in a game. Other than that, he's not going to get a lot of targets, not going to get a lot of yards. So, gotta hope he gets a lot of touchdowns.
Okay, your team.
All right, so my team, I went pretty young, so I got Trevor Lawrence and Derek Carr as my quarterbacks. Desmond Ridder also. I think Derek Carr is probably Carr's probably the oldest player on my team. Running back, I got Travis Etienne, James Cook, Tony Pollard, Isaiah Spiller. I'm pretty happy about that. I think I got three definite players there with Tony Pollard, and then Spiller is a secret weapon there towards the middle of the season. My receivers. Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Keenan Allen as my starters. Really excited about that. I think that's a strong wide receiver core. And then I got the sleeper, Allen Lazard. And then my tight ends struggling really bad, Brevin Jordan and Evan Ingram.
Don't your tight ends always struggle because you just dislike
I hate them.
The most amazing position in football? But yeah, I think we both have different places. Like I love my quarterback room. Your wide receivers. Like Jefferson and Lamb, I mean, my goodness, could you imagine having those for the next decade? And your running backs are all young, so it's a dart throw to a point. But I like the youth growing with your running backs.
Yeah, man, I can't get away from youth when I draft. I mean, it's just hard. I'll go and be all right. I'm going to draft veterans, blah 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 blah. But once it starts, I'm attracted to the young guy. I mean, I like that young, fresh. New toy that's got a lot of miles left on it. That's what I'm all about. I'm trying to party, man. Can't party with a bunch of old people. You need to party with the young guys.
Yeah, and it's a mentality of how I was talking today to my brother-in-law, and I said, it comes down to when you're drafting in these, you got to decide with dynasty startups. You got to decide: do you want to draft a little bit older, mixed in to compete and win now? Do you want to draft young and build for later, or do you want something in the middle? And we both tend to be probably left of the middle, like closer to the young, where we don't want super old dudes, we don't want the middling guys, but we want to build up and have something we build and grow with.
I'll draft the poop team. I don't care, and they'll just be all rookies and second round.
If it's the right year
players, I could care less. Doesn't matter. Like I said, I like the young guys. The old guys are great, but getting these guys when they're young and then building like that way, I can be like, I told you so. I want to be right. That's all I want. I just want to be right on guys.
Yeah. As we close out, we have a couple of spots left. I'm going to text JJ Wang and invite Underdog to join right now so he can join. Then after he does that, we'll have 2 spots left and we can start that Underdog Superflex draft we got going on. We're not promoted by Underdog at all. It's just a fun place I found for us to log on there and have a couple of people in there. Filled up a couple spots this week.
I've never been on there, so I have no idea what it is.
Well, you get free credit just for joining. So you might as well do it. You could do that, and join the massive giant contest as well, just for fun.
Do I get enough free credit to sign in to do the fantasy football thing, or the?
I don't know. I think it balances that the free credit might pay for your game, then you can re-pull out your own personal money. I forget how it works.
I could throw in a couple bucks. It's okay.
Yeah, so get something for joining. There's also a big, massive contest I joined, like a national one where you compete, and I'm not going diddly squat, but it's worth a shot.
I mean, it's fantasy. I mean, anybody can win.
Yeah. I put in $5. Top 9,000 people get $7. So what can you do?
You have your own podcast. I feel like you know.
Yeah, I pushed record. So give us some wisdom on the way out, JJ Wang, and just a heads up. In upcoming weeks, we both have a little more free time, so we might do some bonus shows. So keep your eyes and ears out for us.
Yeah, since we're doing our mock draft here, and you said it in the beginning, you got to be able to zig, you got to be able to zag, zog, however many letters you want to put in between the Z and the G. You're going to have to be able to do it because the first round is going to go different, and you're like, all right, I get back on track. Second round comes around. Well, that didn't work out. Now I got to zig. Now I'm zagging, I'm zogging. I don't know. Just that. It's just all kinds of things you got to do. And don't be afraid once you get down to round 4 or 5. You don't have to take the best guy available. I mean, you can go down a few spots and take guys there because they're not going to be around. But make sure you like the players on your team. The worst part is drafting players just because they're the best available, and you look at it and you're like, I drafted like 7 guys I don't even like. Who wants a team full of guys you don't like? I mean, I took over the startup for the Bourbon Bowl, but I think it was 2 years ago. I don't think I have anybody on that team that I started with. So I mean, that's been a complete.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I had to get rid of all of them. I don't like them. We can't have them. And as always, trust yourself, trust the process.